say hi? Say hello, this is Toothless. Oh. Ah! Okay, he doesn't want to say hi. Hello and Happy New Year. I know I already technically posted a video for the new year, but we're going to pretend that this is the first video of the new year because I didn't talk in the last video. So yeah, I hope everyone had a great new year. I am starting the new year with trying to learn something I've been wanting to learn for a very long time, and that is making book sleeves. So I've purchased a lot of book sleeves from a lot of different small businesses. Absolutely love them. I'll definitely link some below of the ones that I've purchased from and I really love. But I have always wanted to make my own, and then since I have a shop now, I've wanted to add book sleeves to my shop. And at first I was like, I am never going to be able to learn how to make them as freaking beautiful as all these other small businesses. So I'm just going to outsource them. And every place that I found to outsource them, you have to order a minimum quantity of 300 to 500 of just one design. So that's 300 of the same book sleeve. And it's over $500. And I'm like, I cannot have 300 of something. Number one, I don't have the space to have 300 of anything. And number two, how can I guarantee that it's even going to sell? How am I going to sell 300? Is this real life? Anyway, so I can't do that. So then I was like, I have no choice but to learn how to do it. And I have always wanted to learn how to sew. I used to sew a little tiny smidgen of a bit back in college, but not great. So this is my journey of sewing for a day. I already attempted it twice. I already attempted it twice. Both times not so great. I also already know that I bought the wrong padding, but I'm just going to keep practicing with what I have. So yeah. But first, let me go into what I bought for this journey. I had zero sewing supplies whatsoever, so I had to start from scratch and literally buy everything. And I probably still don't have everything, but I have the main essentials of needing to at least practice this. So I did buy this sewing machine case, which is stuffed already. I can't really close it, but I did have to buy this just because I don't have a table that this sewing machine can really stay on permanently. So I bought this to kind of put it away and put it back into a corner. But it's actually really nifty. So I have the pedal and the plug in here. And yeah, it has other pockets. There's another one on the side. There's a zip up here on the flap, but I don't really know what you would put in there. And then there's a little pocket right here, and I put the instruction manual in here in case I need to check it, because you never know. But yeah, so inside, it also has these pockets up here. So I bought just a white thread for now to practice. When I get better, I'll do colored threads to match my fabric. I had to get some pins because I had no pins, so I got pins. This is some stuff that came with the sewing machine, so it was extra needles and some other doodads that I have no idea what they are. I already had this, what's this called? Measuring tape, so I just kind of threw that in there. And then I bought these really cool fabric scissors because I have craft scissors and stuff, but I've always heard that if you're sewing and cutting fabric, you need scissors solely for fabric, and that's it. I didn't have any of those, so I did buy these, and I actually am in love with these. So it has this little lock right here, so you unlock it and it opens, and it's flat on the side, so you can kind of put it and cut it this way. And then instead of the two, I don't know, the claw fingers, this is a push down. So you put your fingers in here, and then you just, I don't know. I really like these scissors. They make cutting so much easier for me. So I am really glad that I got these. Then of course, my actual sewing machine, which is strapped in here. I just got a really cheap, I don't know if I can lift it up for you to really see. But yeah, I just got a really cheap one. I think this was $88. I did get it at Walmart. I love that it's blue, but I'm not gonna lie, I really don't like this little design on it, but really it's not for aesthetic purposes, it's just to create something. So I did already use it twice, figured out how to thread it and everything. That did take me a while. But yeah, so that is the sewing machine that I got. And then to practice, I did get some fabric. So first I got this padding stuff, which I thought was the padding that you use in a book sleeve, but I've since learned that it is not. It's definitely too thin. It really doesn't give it any padding at all compared to the book sleeves that I've bought from other small businesses. So yeah, this isn't it. And I bought literally, look, so much of it, so much. So it's just gonna be my practice stuff. And it wasn't cheap either. But yeah, it'll be my practice stuff, because what am I gonna do with it? Then for fabrics, I bought this really cute blue and white floral pattern since spring is coming up. I just bought a white fabric to go inside of that. And then keeping with the spring theme, I also found this yellow and white floral pattern, which I absolutely love. And the same thing, I just got extra white fabric to line the inside of that. Another crazy thing is that I had no idea like what measurements I needed, and I just got so much fabric of like all of these. And I'm like sitting here like, oh yeah, like I can make like 2 book sleeves out of each one. No, I got so much fabric that I don't even know. Like I could probably make 10 out of each, and like that's a lesson for the future. But then the last fabric I got, it was a seasonal fabric for Valentine's Day. It has like little sewn on hearts, red hearts, with a pink and white checkered background. And I got a red lining to go inside of that. But yeah, that's everything that I bought. I also did get a mat, but the mat is put away for right now. I'll take it out later when I'm cutting my fabric. Yeah, that's what I bought. So let's figure out what I'm doing. Okay, I haven't made a yellow one yet out of the yellow fabric, so I think I'm going to try it with this today. I'll unfold it first. And see if we can make this work. So everywhere I've read says to do like a 8.5 by 10.5. But I keep doing that and it keeps coming out too small. So I'm going to try it like an inch bigger. So let's do like a 9.5 by 11.5. I do have to cut off this white piece at the bottom, and I did account for that in my measuring. Okay, I'm gonna take my lining fabric that I bought an insane amount of and cut out 2 pieces of that as well. Okay, it has a little bit of like a weird thing on the bottom that I did account for as well, so I'm just gonna cut that off. Okay, I got my 2 fabric with the design and then my 2 lining pieces. So now I'm going to cut the padding piece, which isn't really padding again, but I'm going to double it up again so it's just a little bit extra padded. Okay, now that I have all of my pieces cut, I'm going to start pinning the first pieces that I'm going to sew together, which is the outer design fabric and the padding. So I cut 2 pieces of padding per side just to make it a little bit more squishy, even though it's still not the type of padding I'd like. But we're gonna work with what we have. So I'm gonna take 2 of those pieces and 1 of the design fabric and line them up as best as I can. Make sure all the folds are out. I actually should have an iron to get out all of these folds, but I don't have it out right now. Okay, I'm gonna take this now that I feel like it's pretty lined up. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to start pinning all around. Okay, so I have this one all done. I'm going to go do that to the second one. Okay, now that I have both pinned, I'm going to take these over to the sewing machine. Now that I've got my 2 sewn pieces, which I'm actually really proud of, I feel like this is the most even I've ever really gotten them since trying. So we're going to go to the next step, which is we're going to take our lining pieces and pin them to the top of your design. So you're going to lay it on the top, but you're only going to sew one side. So then when you flip it over, it should look something like this. Well, I mean, don't follow me word for word because I'm just going off of a video that I saw. Okay, I got my 2 pieces with the lining sewed on, so it's gonna look like this. And this is probably, in the video that I watched, she used an iron to like flatten these seams out, but I don't really have space to take my little iron out, so I'm just gonna hope for the best. But I'm gonna match these up as best as I can on the seam. And then I'm gonna pin all around, but I leave an opening here on the lining side to be able to flip it inside out. So I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna take this over to the sewing machine and I'm just gonna leave quite a big gap here to be able to turn it inside out, but otherwise I'm gonna sew all along here and try to stay on this line, which is where I tend to mess up going forward. So fingers crossed, everything's going okay so far, so hopefully this works out. Okay, I'm back. I cut along all the edges just to clean this up a little bit, snipped these little tiny corners, and now it's time to turn it inside out and see what happens. So I'm going to use this little hole that I made here, and I only reinforced one side, which was like not a good idea, so I'm gonna have to be super duper gentle here and hope that I don't rip it. I'm so nervous. I feel like this is gonna be the best one I've made so far, but I don't also like want to jinx it. Maybe I should have made my hole a little bit bigger. Just trying to be super gentle. Okay. Okay, just flip this very gently, and I'm just going to push out all of these corners. I gotta put my hand in though. I'm trying to be so gentle. Okay. So push out that corner, push out. Oh, I do already see some mistakes here, but that's okay. I'm just gonna cut this string here that's hanging off. Okay, and then the last little bit of sewing that I'm gonna do is gonna be to close this little edge up, so then I can stuff the lining inside and then see what my book sleeve looks like. So let me do that really quick. Okay, I have my bottom all sewn up, and now I'm going to stuff it in and see what I've got. So I'm going to make sure the corners go in the corners. And flatten it out. Oh my gosh, yes, this is definitely my best work so far. I think it's the most even that I've made. If I ironed this like this, it would probably look a lot better, like the lining, so that it stays in. But yeah, I think this is my best one so far. So here's the test. We're gonna get a book and we're gonna see if it actually fits. I'm gonna try this book in here and see if it fits. It does, but it's very, very snug. But that's progress because, yeah, it's like definitely really snug. And I would say it's not tall enough either, because you can see the book really well here. So definitely still have to work on my measuring and my sizing, but this is the first one I've made that can actually fit a book inside of it. So I'm going to take that as a win. And yeah, everything else. So the seams are a little messy. So you can see here, like there is a stitch here after the stitch that was here. That's probably the one that I didn't line up very well. And then on the bottom too, right there, you can kind of see a stitch that really shouldn't be there. But otherwise, like this side, this seam, I think is looking pretty good other than this little part. And my lining, I think, came out really good, really even, and it's actually inside. So definitely progress. I have to keep practicing, but compare the three, this is definitely my best work so far, and I might actually be able to use this one. So yeah, well, stick around. I'll definitely have more sewing videos as I learn through my journey. It's gonna take me a really long time to actually make a book sleeve that I am okay with selling and putting in my shop. So I Don't really have a release date for these yet or really an idea of when I'll be adding them, but it is a huge 2024 goal of mine to get them up there and perfect this. And I'm very, very close, sort of, kind of. So yeah, wish me luck, and I will see you in the next one.